give us a holler at thelab.com.
I got that drink, that purple drink, I got that drink.
Hip-hop artist Frasier Boy raps about a syrupy combination made with the drugs codeine and promethazine, ingredients commonly used in prescription cough syrup. But instead of taking a spoonful for a bad cough, the producer of this YouTube video demonstrates its typical street use, mixing the substance with Sprite and Jolly Rancher candies for taste and color, creating a powerful opiate-laced beverage. The concoction, commonly known as purple drink, was popularized in the 1990s in Houston by a music producer named DJ Screw, who ultimately died from an overdose on the drug in 2000. Other artists like 3 6 Mafia and Lil Wayne gave the drink added notoriety, and as the drug's use spiked throughout the South, Houston became known as the City of Syrup.
There's lean, there's syrup, there's player potion, there's purple stuff.
Dr. Ron Peters is familiar with all the street names. He is an associate professor at the University of Texas School of Public Health in Houston.
It's considered by a lot of people as being normal. If you see somebody smoking crack, what's wrong with this guy? If you see someone with a cup of bar, a cup of lean, that's a player doing his thing.
This is Houston's 5th Ward, an embattled, crime-riddled neighborhood in the northeast section of America's 4th largest city. It's where Johnny Jolly grew up.
Johnny Jolly with the block.
Jolly attended Texas A&M and emerged as one of the Big 12's top defensive linemen. He was chosen in the 6th round of the 2006 NFL Draft by Green Bay, and he quickly developed into a strong and consistent presence, starting all 16 games each of the past 2 seasons.
Young screen blown up by Johnny Jolly.
But the Packers reportedly always harbored concerns about Jolly's ties to the 5th Ward, and those concerns were validated 2 years ago. At 1:10 on the morning of July 8, 2008, a car driven by Jolly was pulled over by police outside Mr. A's, this North Houston nightclub they say is notorious for weapons and narcotics. There were 3 people in the car with Jolly. One passenger was arrested for gun possession, another for having marijuana. Police also found a Dr. Pepper bottle and a styrofoam cup filled with liquid and ice in the center console. They reported a strong odor of codeine coming from the cup, and Jolly was arrested and charged with possession of a controlled substance, a second-degree felony.
Jolly pleaded not guilty, and his case has been winding its way through the courts for 2 years now, with a jury trial looming. His future with the Packers is uncertain, but Jolly's case and another involving former NBA player Sean Williams shine a light on the unusual drug that experts and law enforcement officials say has developed a widespread following throughout the South.
Johnny Jolly was arrested in the 5th Ward area, Houston, where the drug is very popular.
Houston police officer John Kowal is a narcotics investigator.
It's what we call the 5th Ward area of Houston.
In Johnny Jolly's case, prosecutors say they have evidence he was seen in Harris County, Texas between 2006 and May 2008, smoking marijuana and consuming liquid codeine.
The high is not a euphoric high where you would think you'd be bouncing off the walls or anything like that. It's more of a mellow, hey, I'm going to take the edge off type high. I'm going to lay back, I'm going to kick back, I'm just going to sip some syrup, and everything's going to be right with the world.
Authorities say a pint of codeine promethazine has a street value of between $675 and $800, a dramatic markup from the $10 to $20 a pharmacist would pay for a pint wholesale. But users and dealers also obtain the syrup through fake prescriptions and shady doctors, making it readily accessible.
From what I understand from interviews of people we arrest, it's even a harder drug to break the addiction than like cocaine, marijuana, or heroin.
Codeine is on the NFL's list of banned drugs of abuse. The league told Outside the Lines it was aware of Jolly's case, but that it didn't believe the abuse of codeine promethazine was an issue in the NFL. In 2006, Then Charger safety Terrence Keel, a teammate of Jolly's at Texas A&M, was arrested during practice on charges of possession with intent to sell prescription cough syrup. Court records show Keel was suspected of sending a parcel which contained 15 bottles of promethazine with codeine to his home state of Texas. Keel died in a single-car crash in 2008, and the toxicology report showed his blood alcohol level at nearly 3 times the legal limit.
And Williams right there.
Former NBA player Sean Williams was arrested January 15th on charges that he conspired to sell codeine-based syrup. Williams, who played at University of Memphis, was arrested as part of an extensive Memphis police investigation dubbed Operation Lockdown. At an April plea hearing, a prosecutor described Williams as being best friends with the main drug dealer accused in Operation Lockdown. Williams told the court he obtained codeine syrup for a cousin, 3 times, 4 I think. He denied using the substance himself, only admitting his use of marijuana. Williams received no jail time and was placed on probation. He did not respond to requests for comment for this story. The NBA bans codeine without a legitimate prescription, and a spokesman says the league has a strong random testing program. The spokesman declined further comment on the Williams case and whether syrup was on the league's radar. Meanwhile, Jolly is awaiting trial. At a recent hearing, the judge in Jolly's case tightened his bond restrictions, apparently concerned the lineman had violated conditions of his release by drinking alcohol. After the hearing, Jolly had little to say.
Sort of this. No comments. Can you talk about just the lean in your community?
No comments.
That's Mark Fainruwada reporting. Johnny Jolly's next court date is set for July 30th. Joining us now to discuss Purple Drank and its use among pro athletes is ESPN's NFL analyst and former Pro Bowl defensive lineman, Marcellus Wiley. Marcellus, what has the word been in NFL circles about Jamarcus Russell and Purple Drank?
Well, there have been a lot of rumors flying around about the last year or so about his alleged use of it. Obviously, some people try to link those rumors with the symptoms of how it makes you lethargic. It's more of a downer, so it's not something that's going to get you excited out there, but rather take the edge off. And it all started in entertainment circles, you know, with the Southern rappers and their usage of it and how they made it quote-unquote cool. And I think that it spread throughout the South, and a lot of players from the southern region definitely have intimate experiences with it. Not necessarily usage, but no friends who use it, no friends who deal it, and even one of my former teammates, the deceased Terrence Keel, also caught with distribution of it. So I think it became something of the subculture with the southern athletes, and now it's starting to creep into the mainstream.
You know, Marcellus, you mentioned before that people made that connection because of Jamarcus Russell's performance. Is there a connection to be made, you think?
Well, obviously, if you find someone in possession of the controlled substance, you start to lose the benefit of the doubt. You start to listen to all the reports that are coming out after the fact. And even personally, I had heard the same rumors, and I tried to reach out to Jamarcus. In the last few months, we have been in constant contact to discuss this, but discuss other things, whether they were true or they were false, just to lay everything out on the table and look at him first as a professional athlete, where his career has been and where is it going to go, him as a person, which is more important, just to see, okay, what kind of life you're going to have during your career or after your career in the NFL, and just to stop the free fall that it looked like was his career. And just a few minutes ago, we were texting back and forth to still try and set up that meeting, which was going to be next week. Obviously, he has some legal issues to deal with, but I'm not going to stop my pursuit of reaching out to a talent, a young man who I think just needs some direction and some guidance, regardless if he's guilty or not of usage of Purple Drank.
That's one former player reaching out to a current one. In the 20 seconds we have left, what do you think the NFL should be doing about this?
Wherever it is on the radar of the NFL, it needs to be heightened. It needs to be more of the awareness because it is creeping into the locker rooms. The instances of this occurring in the last few years have grown, so let's not let it become a problem. Let's stop it before it becomes a problem.
Okay, ESPN's own Marcellus Wiley, thanks so much for taking the time. If you want to read more about this or any of